Hi, everyone. Dan here with Chief
That's a
Expert.
hat.
And we're on talking about our new mascot, Kevin here. He's not actually new. He's been there for a while, but
Yeah, it's been our mascot for a long time.
Since last summer.
I'm sorry. We're just having too much fun here. If you don't get a chuckle out of that, I don't know. You're having a bad day. That's what I told the guys the other day. That's actually Kevin Transue, who's on the call here today. And
With this
Rene
aluminum hat.
Rene went in. Rene went in and AI'd him and made him into a bot. So I don't know if that's a simple thing to show how you went about that. That'd be kind of fun to talk about today. But
yeah, give me a little time and I'll catch up to that.
Yeah. But yeah, I asked Rene to send that picture because I thought we'd use that because it's really cool. Anyway, welcome everyone. I'm Dan, on with John, Kevin, Robin, and Rene, and we are the whatever you want to call us team here today. So, how's that for?
There's a lot of words we could.
How's that for a prepared remark?
Yeah. Let's go with artificially intelligent.
Yeah, I don't have any intelligence left today, so I've used it all up already. Anyway, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here, and we wanted to kick off.
Upgrade from the tinfoil hat. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
True.
Awesome.
So we wanted to kick off talking a little bit about AI, but we'll throw in a little chief architect stuff too. But AI is everywhere these days. I'd probably get a half dozen or more emails every day with all of these packages that people are creating. Get this AI thing to do this and do that. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't really spent much time looking at most of them. I do use ChatGPT for various things, which has already saved me a ton of time. And I can talk about that. I know, Rene, of all of us, you're probably the heaviest into the AI. So
yeah,
we'll probably
I got pretty deep in it.
We're going to give you a little extra time here today. And this is just a kind of a kickoff to AI. And then part of what we want to do here today is find out what kind of interest you guys have in AI. Do you guys want to go down this path and talk about it? So, put it in the comments here and let us know what you think. It'd be kind of fun to hear your feedback on that. So again, welcome. And a couple of quick things here before we get started with what Kevin is going to give his take on that. So let me get to the right screen here. So real quick, we've got a live chief architect training class coming up here in Minnesota starting August 7th. And it goes from August 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's a 3-day course. It's more beginner intermediate course. So if you've been using Chief for a while, it'd be a perfect course for you. Especially if you haven't really dug into a ton of training. If you're just using the program and trying to get by with it, you will learn a boatload from this course. We will go through the whole process of how to create a plan, and you'll get a template and a whole bunch of other things to go with it. So it's a really good course. We've done it quite a number of times. This is from last picture from our game we had last December. So we welcome that. If you have questions, feel free to give us a call at any time.
And Dan, it's live. It's not going to be online, correct?
It's live in person in a conference room, touch and feel, shake hands, hugs, all that kind of good stuff. Okay. If you're into that. But yeah, it's, first one we did one last December. That was the first one we had done in 2 or 3 years, I think, at that point. So it's amazing. Yep. If you are going to Coeur d'Alene for the chief architect training class, and you're looking for a place to stay, we have we kind of all get together when we go to Coeur d'Alene. So if you check this out, doing the wrong link there. Did I not put the right link there? All right, I'll change that. Sorry, it's going to the wrong page, but I'll change that when Kevin starts doing his thing. That will, we have 3 houses. We got 4 rooms left if you're interested. So about the same price as the cheap hotel. And these are just pretty nice places. Plus you get to hang out with us. We'll do some networking. We'll talk chief. It's a good time. So we really have a lot of fun. And of course we have our summit here. Yep, that's coming up in next March. So that we're just getting that posted ahead of time. Please check that out. Give me a call if you have any questions. And you can still sign up for a marketing course. We're talking about websites and lead generation, that kind of stuff. We had a really good class the other day. Got a few more coming up with a few added bonuses coming. So check that out. And it's pretty interesting. Good stuff. All right, you guys, what do you think? You got anything you want to add to that?
No. The summit, if you guys are considering the summit, you really should sign up for that. The summit was a lot of fun last year. You learned a lot. It was a blast. So if you guys are on the fence on it, reach out to one of us to talk about it, because it's really worth it. It's totally worth it. And it's hanging out with some really cool people.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. All right, cool. So first thing we're going to do is have Kevin is going to get in here, since Kevin is our business guy. He's our design build mentor guy. Way to go, Kevin. Designbuildmentor.com. He's been searching for that identity, and I think we found it, or you found it, didn't you?
So, yeah.
So very cool. I'm glad to hear that, because we're going to get you mentoring. We'll get you mentoring yet, although you're already doing it, so not a big deal. Just making it a little bit more formal. So Kevin, you've been into the AI. I mean, you are AI when we take a look at your picture there. So as you know, because Kevin is really intelligent. He's more intelligent than all of us probably put together. So
yeah, but AI is artificial, Dan. It's artificial intelligence.
Okay, you got me there. But yeah, he is pretty intelligent. So Kevin, we would like to know your take on where you think artificial intelligence is going to go in the construction industry in the coming near future. What's your take on that?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to overwhelm everyone, and whether it's this industry or any other industry. If it hasn't overwhelmed you yet, it will be. One of the interesting things about the way that all of these things are rolling out and the way the algorithms work for your online sources of information is that what you want a little bit of is what you get more of. If I look at my wife's stream of information versus my stream of information, they're radically different. What I don't know is if everybody else is getting as bombarded as, for instance, Rene and I are, where we're interested in the topic. So we get a lot of information on AI, like probably 4 out of 5 things I get somehow have to do with AI. That creates a lot of exposure to the topic. And that exposure brings a lot of new insight and a lot of new understanding about what might be coming, and you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly about what might be coming. There are some really, really exciting things about AI and how it can help us. Really positively, encouragingly exciting things. There's also some very frightening things about AI and how it can affect us in the future. And those things need to be heeded as well. One of the biggest reinforcements of that concept is that the leaders in the industry, the CEOs of the companies that are AI, are all equally concerned about where the future goes, and they're in concert asking for regulation of the industry because of where it could go. So how does it affect this particular industry? How does it affect us all as a whole? I think that we're seeing some of the incredible powers of artificial intelligence in the way that you can find answers to common questions. You can literally have a conversation with things like ChatGPT. I think that there are a lot of people out there who are currently asking it specific questions about where they're looking for specific answers. But I've gone beyond that to where I have conversations with ChatGPT. I literally can say anything from, tell me about Kevin Transue, which a month or so ago would actually tell me about Kevin Transue. But as the technology has evolved, they now are, respecting privacy and the kind of intrusion into personal lives and things that might bring on. And so now if I did the very same, tell me about Kevin Transue, it doesn't tell me much about Kevin Transue. So it's not that it's going backwards, it's that it's going forward in a very weird way, because you almost have to program in morality and privacy and the kinds of things that you would respect if you were speaking to someone, without it just digging completely into everything in your past and doing that. Somebody is having to decide what is okay and what's not okay in those searches and in those engines that are creating that background. So the unregulated artificial intelligence is a little scary, but the unregulated is also what brings about innovation and the ideas of the possibilities in the future. And we're starting to see a lot of that. Just yesterday, I'm trying to remember, Rene, maybe it was you that shared it with me.
What's that?
The ability to generate plans using AI. Was that you or someone else?
No, I'm the one that said that it's not there yet, but yeah, it's happening.
It's happening. And we've been predicting that for a little while. And by a little while, I mean a very little while. The start of the public recognition of AI was probably November. The real, I think, who was it? 60 Minutes or 2020 or somebody did an episode on Microsoft's proclamation that that AI was sort of their invention. And it's not, of course, but ChatGPT is a coordinated effort funded a lot by Microsoft with a company called OpenAI that generated that product and released the storm that we see now in releasing it to the public. So definitely, companies like Microsoft are investing millions, if not billions, into AI and where the future takes us. And everyone who is thinking about that is putting out anything from apps that front end tools like ChatGPT, or are producing other types of things that are recognizing imagery, generating new imagery from sources that they can discern on the web, which is then being created from you saying, show me a 3-bedroom house that's 3,500 square foot on top of a mountain that sits in the jungle, with a brick facade and done in a colonial style, and in a tenth of a second, it's there. So it can be used in our industry for inspiration, using imagery. It can be used for text to generate anything from your sales information to contracts to anything like that. It can be used for inspiration, where I can have a conversation with ChatGPT to say, tell me more about Frank Lloyd Wright and what his philosophy was around prairie style. And I can get information that's not just seeking an answer to a question, but is actually discussing it with me. And I can tell it I'm confused about this, and it'll further clarify. And I can literally have a conversation. I can say, I don't like what you're telling me about this, and it'll argue with me. It's a fascinating way to look at where we can go from an industry standpoint, both from design inspiration and from the technology that can ultimately produce plans. And the software that I was talking about a little bit ago, a couple minutes ago, was something I saw yesterday that is actually producing plans. So when you think about that from our industry standpoint, does that mean we're all out of a job? Does it mean that the type of job changes? Does it mean that the tool becomes something that can assist us in our jobs? It could be all the above. I think if you are someone who wants to stay ahead of the curve and use the tools to your advantage, you can do that. If you feel like you want to remain old school, you can probably do that for as long as you care to, just like you're still going to find designers that are drawing plans with pencil and paper. So I think you can take it where you want to go and use it how you want to use it. Understand, of course, that the change is coming. And as you all have heard me say before, I liken this to manned flight and the industrial age. I think it is just as important. I think it's a paramount change to the world we live in. And it's not coming in the future. It's here right now. So pay attention to what's available to you and learn from those who are learning before you.
I think you're right. I mean, I think we need to, I mean, as much as I want to go into, I'm going into this kicking and screaming, I think we need to learn how to use it, and we need to learn how to control it, right? But I think I haven't even dipped my toes into this at all. I haven't done anything with it, but I think if you want to be relevant, and I hate that phrase, I hate that, but if you want to stay relevant, we all, and I'm not, when I'm saying you, I'm really pointing at myself. So you guys, I'm not like berating anybody or anything like that. So I'm saying for me, I need to embrace this and learn how to use it. Am I going to do 100% with it? I mean, I get appalled by some of the things that I see on Instagram of these beautiful kitchens, and you can obviously tell. I'm looking at a project right now that's on my screen. That's like an Addams Family inspiration, and it's obvious that it is AI generated. I just hope that we can learn how to embrace this in a way that we stay relevant, and that the population understands that that you still need physical people. I mean, come on, look at what's happening in the movie industry. You know, they're on strike because they feel like they're going to be taken over by AI. So we have to figure out how to control it and how to work with it.
I think to add to that, or possibly to counter it a little bit, it is going to take over the kinds of things that we typically look at. They can already, and I've seen it done, emulate you in person with your voice, saying the things you're saying or anything else they want you to say, which means that very same thing can happen, whether it's on a big screen or a talking billboard or the voice in your car or anything else. These things are all here or coming right now. So it is frightening. The thing that I think is going to continue to require humanity is that it's very difficult to tell a machine to be creative. It's easy for a machine to be able to determine things, and I say this a little naively given the advances that they've made already, but I think your strength is going to be in figuring out how to use AI to your advantage in our industry, and your creativity is going to play a key role in that.
Yeah, I agree.
Anybody?
I agree with you.
It helps to unmute myself. I was going to say, let's talk a little bit about the what you can do with AI, but let's spend 1 second on the negative part, because it's scary in that it can do a lot of crazy things. On 60 Minutes the other night, they had a bot read a statement from someone imitating his voice, calling his mother to say, "Hey, Mom, I need a check. Can you send me $5,000 or whatever?" I don't remember what it was. And she thought it was him. She really did. And she was ready to do it. And then he called her back right after that and said, "Mom, that wasn't me."
The interesting thing about that episode was that the person said, "That sounded just like me." And the guy who was doing it said, "No, that was you. That is a cloned version of you. It's using everything about your voice, your inflections, and everything else to repeat you."
So we're going to have to be extra on guard for things like that. So when someone does that to you, call them back. Say, "Here, I'll get right back to you. Let me call your phone." It's just like, don't ever click on a link in your browser for, something about your bank account. you always go to the website of the bank yourself. Don't, it's just like common sense stuff. Anyway, let's talk about Chat GPT for a second.
Hold on 1 second. You made this thing. You made this comment that it's common sense stuff, but this common sense, it looks so real that
it can get you.
It can get you. So even though you think you're a smart person, right? Just because we're all smart people, but it's so easy to get an email or hear something and see something and not. Karen, I'm actually with you. I'm with you. I don't really want to adapt. I really don't want to. But we really have to be due diligence. I mean, you have to look at everything that comes to your email or that comes to you in a text or something and do the research to make sure that it's real. It's amazing. I mean, I get an email from my bank almost every single week saying, we will never ask you these questions in an email. And you have to remember that. But people getting screwed all the time. And we're smart people, not stupid people. We're talking smart people are getting screwed and getting fooled by this all the time. So you have to do due diligence.
All right. Yep. Anyway, let's talk about the good stuff, though.
I want to comment on this one, from Jeffrey Rexford. I can see techies using AI to create a house design, but they'll never have my experience with what is costly, permittable, and the best use of their dollars. This is what's coming, is that any model, which is the basis of AI, can be trained on someone's knowledge. So yes, this is coming where any techie could use a model of someone more experienced than them. And as AI improves, they will be able to utilize someone else's experience for that, that condition. So that is what's coming. And I want to comment also on what Justin Ball commented here, is learning how to code or learning how to do prompt engineering. That's huge. It takes practice to learn how to prompt the model to get what you want out of it. It actually takes quite a bit of practice to really get the results you're looking for. And it is a skill set.
So far.
Yeah.
So, all right. So it's coming. It's here. Let's learn to use it.
I'll give you some examples of use.
Well, let me show one first.
Okay.
And then you can do yours, because yours will always be high-end techie shit. I'm going to show basic, simple stuff. Am I wrong?
We love you, Rene. We love you, Rene, even though it is high-end techie.
That's why you're here. Rene is here to take care of the high-end techie shit. I'm just going to do the
Stay in your corner.
Yeah, exactly. So while Kevin was talking, I typed the question here. What could I do to improve the Chief Expert Designer show? So I went to ChatGPT, and you can see it keeps a list of things that you talk about. And I asked it that one question. I didn't do anything fancy. And this is what it spit out for preparation and planning, engage content. It's like, oh, this is all really good stuff. I should probably read this and adapt some of this stuff. Of course, that'd take all the fun out of our show. But so that was pretty good. And then I typed in another one. Kevin Transue just started a business called Design Build Mentor. What can he do to get the word out about it, that his service is available? And here's what ChatGPT spit out. Create a website, search engine, content marketing, email marketing. So you could continue to carry on a conversation. You might say, well, what should I put on my homepage of my website? Just talk to it like you're talking to a person, and it'll keep spitting out good information for you. And it's really a lot of fun. And I've been using it for a lot of different things. So I did an email yesterday. I said, I'm of the mindset, I'm going to type my own words first. And then in this case, I just stuck it in, here's what I typed up real quick. I did it in Grammarly. I like Grammarly. And then I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, just rewrite this for me and give me a few suggestions. And then it went, okay. And then it spit this out. And it's like, I read this, I copied it into my Grammarly account. Grammarly is the thing that'll check your spelling, grammar, and all that stuff. And bam, I came up with an improved version of what I thought I had done to start with. It's still in my words. ChatGPT just helped me organize it a little better. Saved me a ton of time. And I didn't need a copywriter to do that. So
if you want some humorous results in it, it's also great at, for instance, I said, I wrote something and then I said, tell me that story as Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, I know.
So there's a lot of things you could do to have fun with it. You can also use those in a productive way by saying, make this text less formal, make this text more formal,
Yeah.
say this in a friendly way, say this as a Valley girl, say you can do different things. And it does a very good job of creating the persona that you are trying to convey. So if you feel like what you're writing is too dry, you can make it more humorous. You feel like it's formal, make it casual.
That's where Rene was commenting about, I forget who made the post about coding and creating the right prompts. If you know how to prompt it with the right questions, it'll spit back some pretty cool stuff for you. So personally, I love it. I think it's helped me become smarter in what I'm doing in less time. Well, maybe, I don't know if smarter is the right word, but it helped me produce more of what I want to do in less time. And I think I'm getting better results. So I'm not telling it to, I'm not telling it to do it for me. I'm just telling it to help me with ideas in formatting and stuff.
When I write emails, I miss prepositions and I use a lot of inference. You can tell it to rewrite something in a formal way and then remove some prepositions and use more inference, and it will get really close to my writing style.
Yeah.
You can make it do incorrect grammar if you want.
I haven't done that. Nice job, Rene.
So let me just show you, because Grammarly is a form of AI. Okay, so I'm in my Grammarly account. I pay $160 a year for this. I think that's what it is. But everything I do, I run through Grammarly. You can see I use it a lot. So I just took that comment that it just gave me from ChatGPT, and I'll paste it into a Grammarly page. Here's what it did. So now Grammarly is going to fix, it's going to do this. Of course, this isn't bad because this is just kind of a tick list. But if I'm writing a story or something like that, Grammarly is going to find a ton of different things that you might want to do. But it gives me a chance to go through it and read it, fix it, change what I want to change to my voice, and that kind of stuff. So that's how I use it, and I really like that. I just think it makes me a better writer.
Has anybody heard anything about this? Personal assistant?
Yeah, I could comment on this. I would tell you that every company out there is trying to incorporate AI in some aspect just so that they can say they've got AI and push it through some ads. So you're going to see a lot of these personal assistant things. And I would tell you that it's really not all that different in most cases than paying for ChatGPT Plus and enabling many of the plugins that are available for ChatGPT Plus with the subscription model. And I think you probably end up spending less, and I bet you'd get all the same results. So as far as those personal assistants come, but in the future, maybe that makes more sense as you have a more catered approach to something, and maybe it's introducing a system that you like. So particular software that's incorporating AI that you want to use that software, that's great. They finally incorporated AI. That's wonderful. But this is all still in its beta form everywhere, and people are, kind of circumventing the typical standards they would go through to push something to market because they just need AI on their brand wagon. So
if you guys don't have anything to do and you got some time you want to kill, go to Founder AI, FOUNDR.ai, and these people have compiled hundreds and hundreds of what Rene was just talking about. People are taking ChatGPT and what do you call it? Programming to do certain things. Here's you want to see what you look like from, your future child, your future self. I mean, I don't know why that came up. I just clicked on it, but you can click on the different categories, presentation, what kind of things do you want help with? So so there's a lot going on with it. And that's why we're getting blasted with so many ads about all these AI tools that you can use now to do things. One of the ones that I found kind of interesting, and I haven't signed up for this yet. Have you done this one at all, Rene? InteriorAI.com?
it's essentially doing what Midjourney does.
Midjourney? Okay.
Yeah.
So you upload a picture.
So,
You only get a
just-
couple for free, and then you have to pay for it.
for those who don't know, describe what Midjourney is, Rene.
I will give you a perfect example.
You want to
Let's
show
see.
us?
Let's add this to the stream. I have a Discord server, and Discord is what is used to run Midjourney. And you type in a prompt to Midjourney, and you can see what I did here. I uploaded an image of Dan.
Oh, you're gonna make me into AI? Come on.
And then I prompted the model to generate a picture of a robot based on that, and that particular model didn't do a very good job.
No, it
So
don't look like me at all.
So
Yeah,
I
it does.
changed the settings.
It's not bad.
I changed the settings, and I changed the model that it was trained on, and then gave it a new prompt.
There we
And
go.
There you
I
go.
said to do him as a robot in the style of Seth MacFarlane. Seth
Oh
MacFarlane
my
drew
God.
Spider-Man for a number of years.
Still not as cool
And
as
there you
Kevin.
go. And now you can take one of these images and generate some variations and kind of go from there.
He looks
so-
like the guy in Up.
Yeah. I better get myself some balloons.
So Midjourney will take an image and maybe produce something in its likeness vaguely, and then that's kind of what you're getting in the one that you were just showing. And then unfortunately right now I don't have this running, but we have something called Stable Diffusion with something also called ControlNet. And these are names that aren't going to mean anything to us right now, but we can actually give AI a vector line drawing and have it fill in between that line drawing and use logic to figure out what we're doing with that line drawing in order to get something that actually looks like our project. It's not going to be photorealistic rendering. It's going to be conceptually based. So, but we're getting there, and we're getting there very quickly. And then I would share a couple of use cases for ChatGPT that are maybe one of these is powerful to you and you want to do something with it. So one is that I asked it with a plugin, and I have a paid version of ChatGPT. So I used the plugin that enables web browsing. ChatGPT is trained up to a certain year, and this is a couple of years back, depending on the model that you're using, which means that any data forward of those years that it's trained on is non-existent. It doesn't have that as a basis for its model. The model is the knowledge base. I'm going to keep saying model, and that's going to be something that's going to come up in the future. So if you want to train it on something that is a live published document somewhere on the web, you can with a plugin if you pay for ChatGPT Plus or some other service that utilizes that.
And Rene, that's
So-
how you were able to create Kevin's bot on Discord, because you bought that and then you had ChatGPT
Yeah,
read,
I have a subscription to Midjourney. I have a subscription to a number of different AI services. So
and then you
this
had it read the chief catalog, right? The whole catalog
Oh,
of
well,
how
so
the
that's
owner of the
another
manual
thing
of it.
we've been working on is I've loaded Chief Architect's X15 manual into a website, and then I can tell ChatGPT Plus to go look at that website and give me an answer to a question using logic after it's read the manual. And it will
And that's
do
why
so. And it
you
does
now, then that's your Kevin bot on Discord.
well, we're trying to get it into the Kevin bot on Discord.
Okay.
And it's a work in progress, and it's difficult. There's a bunch of limitations there, but it's
Got it.
so far it's working for me specifically locally. It's not distributable yet. It can't be accessed from the public. So
Got it. Okay.
so something I do regularly is go tell it, hey, go look at this website, Upcodes or ICC safe, and tell me if this electrical code meets this standard, or this particular use case, what is the code, or what is egress on Windows? And it will come back and have read that code and give me code citations for me to go check it out myself, and then also summarize it for me or drop an outline if I tell it to, or whatever else. So that's something that is immensely useful in our industry. If you're a drafter and doing those sorts of things, that's a huge one. It's worth its weight in gold.
Got it.
Another one was someone commented on my personal Instagram where I've drawn Calvin and Hobbes. I do that just to calm my butt down sometimes, and and it was Calvin's balling up a snowball, and the person commented, "Are they about to throw it at Susie?" And so I went to ChatGPT and said, "Give me some kind of esoteric philosophical response that would come from Calvin," and it did a fantastic job. So, and it looked like it would have been, originally scripted from that comic book. So that's funny. I get it to write my macros for Chief, and this takes a bit of knowledge on your end to know that Chief writes Ruby scripting much differently than the industry writes Ruby scripting. And so once you have that knowledge and you know how to have that conversation, you can get code that I can literally copy from ChatGPT, drop into Chief, and it will work, which is incredible. And it's superpowering my scripting abilities because it scripts way better than I could script. So
on the other hand,
to do a lot of things.
On the other hand, it's not perfect, right, Rene? I mean, one night you worked on something for hours and hours.
Yes.
Before it got it right.
And that's because it's giving me stuff that's beyond my knowledge base, and I have to, use some kind of logic to come back to it to tell it what it's doing wrong in its approach. So, and that's why I say prompt writing is a skill set that you have to learn, and it takes a while. I've had it write clauses for contracts, joint permission clauses. What I'm looking at here, I've got another one where it's some exclusions. I've gotten it to write sections for invoices and construction notes. Let's see what else I've got.
Now combine that with what I was saying earlier, which is that you can give it a different voice. You can give it a different attitude. Yes. So for instance, if you were to read, person X's contracts or agreements or anything else, they might be really formal, and you look at that and say, well, that's not something I could make use of. But you can tell it to take that same context and rewrite it in a more casual voice or whatever else, and you can do that and create a voice that you would be comfortable putting in your documents. It's really a fascinating tool to make use of, no matter what the source is.
Yes. Someone just said they're getting sound echo problems, so I just changed mine because last time it was me. So hopefully I just got rid of it. And you can start from a basis where you're just telling it to do a very iterative process, and you'll get results that are probably better for what you're looking for, where you're just saying, write a clause between Kevin and I for such and such and such. And it's going to say, hey, name input here, and Kevin is going to be this contract. And then you say, hey, replace that first part with Rene Rabbit, and it'll do that. So now we're saying, hey, you did a great job, but fix this piece. Hey, you did a great job here, but remove that line and replace it with a different line. And it will continue to improve upon its last part. So you can do a very iterative setup that way.
I think it's interesting that you compliment it.
Well, that, believe it or not, that really does work, because you're telling it that what you have so far is good, so don't rewrite it, because it will rewrite it. If you don't tell it that you did a great job, let's fix this line. If you don't say that first part, it will actually try to rewrite the entire body.
You're just such an encouraging manager, because I think you could accomplish the same thing by saying, leave everything else alone, change this, and you get it. But your way sounds so much better.
So nice. He's so nice.
So anybody on the call here using AI at all for have you found any apps that you use that help you with your job, your business, or that you're concerned about? So we'd like to know about that. This is one of those things that we'll see what happens with the regulation and all that kind of stuff. Hopefully they'll get something in place. So sounds like a lot of the big players are talking. Who knows what'll happen? But in the meantime, it's here, so we might as well take advantage of it. So stable diffusion with ControlNet, we'll make a run.
Stable diffusion. Well, I don't have it loaded. I currently have the AMD rep getting me all his resources for fixing my particular setup. But stable diffusion, you can take a hand drawing that you've done and
Oh,
it will generate a bunch of images for you. In fact, I have some old ones I could bring up here. Let me
yeah,
see if I can get them up on the
you
screen.
posted that once. Yeah, well, yeah, that'd be cool if you could show us what that looks
Yeah,
like.
I've got a whole AI-based page here. Let's just...
So, Justin, how much you pay for Stable Diffusion? Is that an app that
Stable
you pay for?
Diffusion is free, and
It is.
it runs on your own machine. It just
Okay.
it's a process to set up. So we'll show you that we started with this vector line drawing. And
Yeah. So you could you could produce that with Chief.
yes,
Make a
produce
line
this with
drawing,
Chief, and then gave it some basic prompts for what we wanted for the scene. And you can see here, and these are all generated in a matter of a couple minutes a piece.
Wow.
And so you get, now if you look closely, you'll notice problems, but for the most
Good
part,
enough.
this is fantastic for
But for
getting,
spurring ideas,
Yeah.
Different styles, different colors, different looks. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Each one has its, kind of unique look to it. Some are
Yeah.
better than others. Some you can see that it, misinterpreted the structure. So again, prompt writing is it's a skill set, and part of that is that we gave it an image, and there's a sliding scale of how close to within the bounds of that image that the AI needs to be to apply its model's knowledge base, information base to this image. And sometimes you have to move that sliding scale down to give the AI a little more freedom, because its subset of knowledge just doesn't have anything that's directly applicable to that drawing. So this is that case, is I had to change that sliding scale so it wasn't staying so rigid to the original line drawing, and you see that it misinterpreted the actual structure of the building. So that's kind of a case in point, whereas there's some other scenes where it fully understands the building and its shape. There's other times where it's just completely misinterpreting it. So
Amazing.
it takes some practice, and it's nice to start playing around with this stuff now, because when it starts becoming so relevant that your competitors are using it or your clients are expecting it, it's nice to have a little bit of a leg up there and have some experience. So
Yeah.
and that's if that fits within your business model.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying before, was just what I was intending was just that you can get ahead of it. But if you don't, your competitors are getting ahead of it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be in the game one way or the other, unless you just choose to back out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Pretty
go
much.
hire a contractor. I'll do it for you. This is a cool kind of like artistic take on some elevations where it colorized just a line drawing for elevations, which was cool. You had to spin the wheel of topic stuff too, right?
Yeah. We want to do that.
So I'll tell you something else that I use this for, and we can touch base on Photoshop now has a built-in AI that is based on some of its tools, where you can lasso and draw a little section of a particular drawing and have it change. I'll just show you it real quick. I'm going to screenshot this image and draw this into Photoshop real quick. We'll get Photoshop on that main screen.
So we'll talk more about AI as we go forward here, as we learn more about some of the apps and things like that. But anybody on the call here, if you're using it for specific things, let me know, or let any of us know, and we'd love to talk to you about that. So I think,
Yeah.
is it,
Well,
Scott,
I think what we need to do, though,
Scott Wise. Scott, I think you're heavy into AI. Rene was saying, so maybe you have a few things you could share too. Not necessarily today, but maybe we can get you on a show sometime.
So I just lassoed a
we
big...
need to do a thing just on really ChatGPT for beginners, because I think a lot of people out there don't want to really admit that they don't know really anything about it. And maybe we start at the basics instead of going this advanced, but start really basics and then build from that.
Well, that's why I wanted to show you the writing things that I do with it, because that's really basic. You could do that right now without any other education or tools.
Right.
and so you just start using it and get used to it. And then the more you use it, then you'll start finding other things you could do with it. It's like Chief, you start by drawing through walls, and next thing you know, you're doing complex roofs, and that's a process to get to that complex roof part. So
I've gotten to the point where the other day I was going to take a couple of pills, and I had just taken something a couple of hours before, and I just jumped on ChatGPT and said, the interaction between these two medications, and it just told me all about it. I didn't have to go
Isn't that
look it up
great?
anywhere. It's
Yeah.
just okay.
So this is Photoshop's AI. I lassoed part of the landscape here. This is the original image right here.
Okay.
And then I lassoed part of it and told me to generate new fill for that area. And it's given me a whole new set of landscapes that perfectly stitch into the existing
Wow.
drawing. And it did it that fast.
Wow.
So post-editing renderings now is a breeze sometimes if you learn the tool, and it does have its little caveats. So
yeah, that's true with all these tools. So
That's
Wow. Wow.
cool.
That's through the full version of Photoshop, right?
this is in their Photoshop beta right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so and like if I draw within the bounds of the landscape, it will just fill in logically. If I draw and kind of overlap the building, it will do something different. If I draw and kind of just overlap the transition of the building and the landscape, it will then do something different based on that. So it takes a little bit of playing around with it to figure out what exactly it does and what you're trying to get out of it.
Cool. So maybe we'll find out in Coeur d'Alene this year if Chief is doing any, if Chief is going to do any AI in their software. The button's fixed on this page now. If you guys were to scroll down here, and if you're interested in, if you are coming to Coeur d'Alene, you want to stay with us, you can sign up right here. We've got, come on, work. I'm on the wrong page. I'm not on the actual page. I'm on the, there we go. So here's where we will be staying. Here's all the information about their event. They're sold out on all their advanced classes, I guess. And they said they're not adding any more seats to that. So, but you can get on a waiting list if you want. But we've got 3 houses that we're renting. These 2 are right next to each other, and this one's less than half a mile away. And we'll all be staying there. So here's a little map on where they are. Here's who's all signed up so far. I've got 4 spots available for you, $7.25 for 4 nights. That's just the house. That's their lodging. Doesn't include meals or anything like that. But check it out. It'd be fun to have you there. And here's some pictures from past events. And here's Rene. Did I ever get you that picture, Rene?
Oh, I haven't seen that. That's cool.
Yeah, you can grab that. You can grab that from that site. So this was the first day we got there last year. People kept rolling in. And before you know it, we had taken over the whole sidewalk. So that was really a lot of fun. And yeah, here we are having some lunch, dinner. But it's just, we have just a hoot. I mean, it's such a good time. And Chief does a really nice job on their events. So it's
well, and
good time.
We'll be talking about this topic at these events too. So
yeah, I'm sure we'll be comparing lots and lots of notes.
I got a fun little thing to show you. I used ChatGPT to write myself a new script where I took a known code for ceiling height right here, applied it to my room labels, and then I had ChatGPT modify it. And the modification is that if I set the room to something that is a 3-letter word, which is what my truncated rooms are when I have a very small room like powder or closet, and I want to fit that in within the bounds of the room itself. So closet, where it's a small closet, I'm not gonna use my typical, which would be if I just zoom in here, would be closet, right? Instead, I'll use CLST, which is the same room, but it's a truncated name. When I use that truncated name, you'll see at the kind of the bottom of my screen here, it changes the formatting of the ceiling height label to fit within that as well. Yeah. So I got ChatGPT to do that. It's a perfect use case for using this to script Rubies for fixing little nagging issues.
Wow. Nice job.
Yeah. Again, that's the power of Chief. It's all there. We can do it all. All right. We don't have a lot of time left. We can spin the wheel once, I suppose, because we said we were going to. I said that. You guys didn't. I didn't even put that many icons on it here. So because
I think somebody told you in advance that we could easily spend the whole hour talking AI.
I think you did, yes.
Yeah.
And I knew that, but we got to spin the wheel once. Let's just see what comes up. So I didn't put much on here, but I did have some specific things that I wanted to talk about. Okay, that little icon is your default setting icon, right? Setting it for your default.
Active default settings.
Active defaults. But all I really wanted to point out with that icon, because I don't know if a lot of people know this or not. Where'd my name page go? Come on, page. Make sure I got my notes right here. Here we go. So when you're in Chief, let me hide that choice. So when you're in Chief and you open up a dialog box for something, doesn't matter what it is, you're going to have those little wrench icons. A room might have those under the structure tab. Did you see those little icons right there? Those are your default settings, and it's got a little red check mark. If you go change one of them, so let's say I make this room 12 inches smaller, you'll notice that those red check marks are gone now. Okay. So when you don't see a red check mark, that means it's not using the defaults that are set in your program. So again, if I were to go to my room settings, floors and rooms, floor levels, first floor, these are the numbers I've set up to be my default settings. All right, all of the things here, wherever it says the word default, okay, that's what you're setting up. So when you draw something, it's going to use what you put here to create that item. Now, in the case of something like a room or a roof or anything like that, I must not hit cancel there instead of OK before. Oops. I'm going to just subtract 12 inches by typing in eventually 12 minus 12. Why do I keep doing that? Minus 12. I got a new keyboard. Mechanical one, you can probably hear it. You see the wrench, the red check mark's gone. So when I click on the wrench now, it puts the check mark in and resets it to the default. So that's what I wanted to point out with that icon. You could click on any of these wrenches and it'll set it to the default settings that you have set up under the what do we call that again? The active defaults. These are whatever you set here become your active defaults. Make sense?
Yep.
Makes sense.
It takes a little bit of getting used to look for that if you're not used to doing it.
I know. That's
It's been there forever, but if you don't know it,
if you don't, yeah.
And Dan, what I thought you were referring to is the default setting button you have at the top there.
This one.
That's
we could talk about that too if you want.
There, yeah.
But that is that icon. But I was really wanting just to point out what the check mark
gotcha.
does. So because it's one of those little things, again, I think it's easily overlooked. But your active defaults here for these different kinds of views that you work on. I know, Rene, you've tried to explain this to me many times. I still don't get it.
I try to explain it to myself and I still don't get it. So don't worry.
I like the way you set it up, Dan.
I set my template up so that whenever you change something, they're all the same. It's like I don't even have to think about it. So and we'll get it. We'll get there. Maybe we'll figure that out in Coeur d'Alene this year. Maybe we'll make those guys keep telling us till we get it done.
This is a small wheel.
It's a small wheel today because I knew we'd spend most of our time talking about AI. What do we get now? Plus ABC. You guys know what that one is?
Something about text.
You got that, yeah.
Adding text.
Yeah.
Adding text makes sense.
That's what it is.
Whenever you click on text, you'll see that little icon right there. Or when you click on dimensions, you see that little icon. So you can add text before or after, or you can even replace that number with your own text.
Are you kidding? Can you show that, Dan? Show how you do that.
I'm not kidding. I would never say something like that.
I don't think you should. You shouldn't. Dan, you shouldn't show us how to do
that. I didn't know that was there. That's cool.
So when you open the dialog for dimension, and you go to your segments, there's your leading text and your trailing text. All right. So if I put a word before that, or after, get my caps on. Okay, you see how it adds the text before and after the number, and then you could also get rid of the oops, not blank segment, but you could suppress the dimension value.
Yeah.
And so if you're getting one of those fractions that you just can't get that stupid 16th of an inch out of there, you could just go, 36. You could just type in your own number.
Well, it's really great for when you have like confirm, site verify, or verify that number, right?
Right.
It's done. It's ready. Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant.
So yeah, so you just click on it and then you click on the line. Yeah, perfect.
So then you just
I use it if I'm trying to set something equally between two places. I could say equal on either side of the line.
Yeah.
I don't really care what the dimension is. It's just equal,
So I thought you guys would enjoy that one. I use that a lot, actually, just because sometimes I might have a dimension and I might want to say verify, and I'll just add that right to the string.
That is really great.
All right. So
thank you for sharing that.
Oh, I didn't do it. The wheel did that.
You put it on the scale. Okay, you put it on there.
I guess I did. Okay. We've still got time for one more.
The wheel did that.
The wheel did that.
The wheel did it.
It's really fun.
You got some layout icons in there for once.
Yeah, I got one. The wheel of topics selects this icon. What does that one mean?
Reference plan file. Reference plan.
That's right. Reference plan files.
Yes, you got that right. What does that mean? Because that one is not on your toolbar to be actually. I don't think it is.
Neither one of them are on the toolbar.
Yeah.
So if we open up a layout page, this is the little one I just put together.
I bet they put it on the new version of the toolbar. No?
I added it to my toolbar.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So there's a little icon. If we go to tools, layout, there it is. Right there.
Yep.
Okay. Reference plan files. So when you're working on a layout, if you have a layout set up and you have floor plans in the right place, elevation cameras all set up, and those are a part of your template, you could literally have this set up so that all you have to do is replace what's on the layout with a different plan, and it'll update all the views to the new plan automatically. Because that's,
Dan, the reason why I suggested this one to you is because I was doing that yesterday. I was taking a project and turning it into a student project, right? So I wanted to get it off of my thing. And I just thought, oh my God, I'm going to have to redo all the drawings. And it was like, honestly, click a button. But you know what? If you go to toolbar customization, there are actually 2 reference plan file icons. So what's the other one? It has a C in the middle of it. What is that one?
Say that again now.
If you go to tools and then toolbars and hotkeys, and you go down to toolbar customization, and you type in reference under layout, right? You get one that says there are 2 referenced plan file icons. One is the one you showed, and then one has a C in the middle of it. What does that one do? No, sorry, I'm stumping you.
No. Actually, you are, because I don't know what that one does. Reference
it says
plan
display
file.
files used in current plan. Oh, that one says, okay, so if you just read the little note, Robin, it would be great. Okay, wait. So the top one, the one that you said, the tool description says display file.
That is if you're
using
referencing one plan to another in a view on a saved plan view. It'll show you what other plans are being referenced. That's plan based. That's not layout based. So you got to be in a plan file to show what other plan you're referencing.
Tools. Is that on a?
Explain that to me again, Rene. Explain that.
So if you turn on, I'll try to do one right now.
You want to do it? Yeah, go ahead and show your screen.
Let's see.
I've never seen that icon because it has a little C in the middle and it says reference plan.
So if I reference another plan here in a view, right? So I'm picking a different plan that's open to reference in this particular plan, and I need to go find that button. Now, if I press that button, which is on the far right of my screen, it's going to show me whatever other plans I've referenced within this plan. in any view.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so like if you had your as-built in that plan.
Got it.
So you could
Okay.
change, globally across all your saved plan views, what plan you were referencing. You could do that.
Now, does that
so
only
it's not
show
that,
up?
It's not
Okay.
that revision. So if
That's
you're somebody
only
who's
plan
doing,
to plan. That's
got it.
only,
So that's,
Now
that's
that
where,
we've gotten some people confused, we
We
need to
got
start
Chad
all
lost.
over.
Well,
Start all over with that and have
All
it
right.
make sense.
All right. First of all, where do we find that icon?
you'd have to place that. I'm not sure that it's in. Some of the icons within Chief are not in any menus at all.
I know.
Right,
So
so this
It's
one,
like,
It's in there. It's in there. I saw it the other day.
yeah,
it
it's
would
in the
be in
folder,
tools
but
if it's in anywhere.
where
Floor
is it?
reference display. Yeah, no, I don't know where it would be.
oh, here it is under checks, reference plan files. So
there
there
you
it
go.
is. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, you're looking at your screen. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's under tools, checks, reference plan files. So on the layout page, when you check for reference plans, it's going to show you everything that's on the layout page. On your floor plan, not the layout, on your floor plan, if you've referenced a different plan, like Rene, you want to show them how to reference something so it shows up. Well, here, I could do it. You want me to do it or you want to do it?
Yeah, I have it right here if you want.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, reference something.
We'll
You know how
just-
you can reference the second floor above the first floor, or
We'll
vice
take
versa, the first
an
floor
active
above the
project.
first floor above the, below the second floor. That's the reference tool right here. Oops, that's this tool right over here. Well, we're looking at Renee's screen.
You're
The
looking at my
reference tool.
screen. So I have a plan here, and I'll switch to working plan view. And now it is, it's actually, this wall right here is a referenced view. So I'm hitting in my toolbars the reference display here, and I'm checking that on and off.
If you double click on the floor number.
Yeah. If I go to the floor number and click on it, you can see here I'm referencing, I've got Valley Trails New is the one that I'm in right now.
Can you blow that up a little bit?
I can reference Valley Trails AB, which is my as-built.
Right. So you're referencing a different plan altogether to show up here.
And something new that we can do that we found out last year was that we can actually change the XYZ offset of the reference if you want to show something, rotated or moved off site, or maybe you have a shed that's drawn in the same model space, but you need it to show where it actually is in reference to, your other plan. That's how you can do that, is some offset angles. And
Yep. Cool. All right. I think we're out of time. We got to spin the wheel a little bit. So thanks, guys. We'll, if whoever's on the call, if you have ideas for future shows, if you have guests that you would like us to have on, please let us know. We would love to have, even if you would like to come on the show and chat about some of the things that you're doing, we'd love to have you on the show. So as you can imagine, coming up with new ideas for the show every other week is, And this is we're all volunteering our time. We're not getting paid for any of this. So we're just doing this for fun, and we do it to share ideas and share the information that we've got. So appreciate you guys being here. It's really fun to have you, and we love your comments. So please keep coming back, and please keep being part of our show.
And reach out to us if any of us can help you do anything. Contact us at our various points of contact, and we'd love to hear from you personally too.
Cool.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Take care and happy. Be safe on your AI journey. See you later. Bye now.
Bye all.
Bye.
And